Hi, in this video I'm explaining how we are giving a structure to a purpose. We already spoke a lot about purpose with mission, vision and value, and that people need that to feel intrinsically motivated. But it kind of can sound like fluffy, that we have a mission and a vision and the values and that's it. But how do we actually structure this in our company? This is what this video will do. In every organization there are 5 fundamental questions to answer. Why do we do what we do? Where are we going? What do we want to achieve by when? How are we going to do it? And who are we going to take with us? So basically we are seeing that we are answering with 5 questions the 6 W's. The why, the where, the when, the what, the how, and the who. Now, we need to build a structure based on those questions. Here's how that goes. And I call that the structure of purpose. So we've been already working on the why and the beliefs, right? We have a certain reason why we do what we do, and that is the fundament of any business. We have translated that into a mission statement, a vision statement, and also some core values. And those are for the period of, let's say, 5 to 10 years, right? Right now, with the speed of changes in the world, we don't have 20, 30, 40-year visions anymore. Organizations develop very fast. We need to be agile and quick. So 5 to 10 years is a good time frame to work with your mission, vision, and your values, and see in that period, whenever it's necessary to make changes, to do so. Then we are going to create a number of big goals. Now, this video, Structure of Purpose, is a sort of preparation for that big goals topic, because now we have the mission and the vision statement and the values, so we are ready to build the next layer. So without further explanation on what big goals exactly are, I'm just going to say that these are organizational goals for the company that are strategic, and they keep us busy for the next 2 to 5 years at least. So 2 on a shorter frame. If we're going a bit longer, it's up to 5 years. Then we have something called a SWOT, a greatly underestimated business tool that many businesses I've seen doing in a wrong way. I spend a lot of time and effort on SWOT because I believe it's a very good tool to understand what needs to be done to go from A to B. So that's something that sort of bridges the rest that comes after you have identified the purpose to start making things more actionable and more practical. Once we have done that, we are able to understand what are our objectives. Now, objectives is a bit different than a big goal. A big goal are those goals that will overcome huge obstacles that will help us to go successfully to the destination we want to go to. Whereas objectives are more those intermediate stops where we know we need to go to first before we can take the second stage or the third stage while we are climbing that mountain, right? So we call that objectives. And those usually are for 12 months. I've seen also people and companies working with objectives for 24 months. That's fine as long as the purpose defines the form. Objectives. What we do want to have is then quarterly objectives. So we have 4 quarters. So within the year, we define every quarter what are our objectives that we as an organization going to invest our precious resources, time, money, effort in, because we believe that when we achieve that, we'll achieve our longer term objectives, and that in turn will help us achieve our big goals. And when we achieve our big goals, we're fulfilling our mission and our vision. But objectives come with key results. Key results we usually work with on a one month basis, sometimes even up to 3 months. And key results are much more concrete. That's, let's say, the objectives and the key results together kind of are the similar thing as the SMART goal. I don't like to work with a SMART goal. I work with this structure because I believe it's more clear for the organization, and you will learn later on also why. And once we have that, the key results, we break that down into our weekly and daily tasks. So now you can see that we start with a belief, which we translate in a mission and a vision statement, and we are able to break it down even to the individual task for a person on a daily, weekly basis. Now, that is what gives a structure to purpose. And people that work on their tasks here on the bottom, they understand how it all contributes to that bigger thing. So their work gets automatically more meaning because, you know, it's not like, oh, why am I doing this? No, they actually know why they're doing this because it cascades upwards towards that what we all believe in. Now let's go further. I want to go a bit deeper into what those sections mean. We have why and beliefs in our mission, vision, and values. That is the inspirational part. That's the inspiring part of your purpose. With that, you're speaking to this piece in people that people naturally want to contribute. That is something that sits in, let's say, all of us. There are probably exceptions, but the exceptions are negligible. In all of us, there sits a piece that wants to contribute. With this top part of the structure, we are giving that to people. This drive to inspire. And then with the big goals, we see here 1 and 2 big goals, but I can go even up to 4. That is the actionable part of our purpose. So with that, we are translating this inspiration into action. Okay, we're not there yet. We need to make it practical as well. And that is this bottom part. That's basically the SWOT plus the OKR framework. That is where we tap into people's natural drive to achieve. People naturally want to achieve. And that is what we do with the practical part. So, you know, we are speaking towards intrinsic pieces into the person by giving them a structure that's clear to them and helps them to achieve things for themselves and for the company by using their intrinsic motivation. So that's it. That's your structure. That's your structure of purpose. Now let's see how that structure of purpose here, how does it answer those questions? So the top part answers the why and the where. You know, why are we doing what we do and where do we want to go? Where, future, right? The destination. Then we have the what and the how. What do we want to achieve and how are we going to do it? That is that what more concretely actionable, the big milestones, actually not the milestones, but more the top of the mountains that we want to climb. And then the how is the objectives. This is like, these are the milestones up the mountain. Where are we going to stop first? Where are we going to stop next? Etc. Then the third part is the when and the who. Okay, so key results are more measurable. They tell us more like by when do we want to achieve something. That gives the timing factor. Why do we put the timing factor on the key results, which are usually just on a monthly basis? For most people in the organization, looking 2 to 5 years ahead is a huge time frame. But looking 1 or 3 months ahead is very doable for all people in the organization. That's why we want to keep that when much more moving as small micro steps rather than big leaps, right? And then the who sits on the bottom. That's not only to understand who do we need in the team, it's also who do we make accountable for these tasks and who do we make accountable for other tasks. The who sits not only around in the person, but also who's accountable and responsible. Who does what and by when, right? So that's why it sits in the bottom. And as you can see, with that, we answer all those questions with this structure of purpose. Now, that is basically when you have worked out this whole structure and you have answers on all those questions. You know your mission, your vision, your core values, you know your goals, you know the objectives, you know the quarterly objectives and key results and the tasks, and you understand SWOT really well. That is the vision of your company. Not the vision statement, that is the vision. So when we're talking about being a vision-driven leader or having vision-driven leadership skills in the team, this is what is the vision. If you give that to your people, then that is the vision of the company. Okay? So how do we build actually an organization around this vision? Well, let us break it down further. We have the beliefs and the perspectives, right? Which sits at the top. Then strategic planning and performance, we need, of course, habits and workflows and rituals of that continuous planning and performance measuring. That sits there at the bottom. When we want to keep people aligned horizontally, making sure that everybody understands what needs to be done and when, but also not for themselves only, but also from each other in the organization, that's where we need systems and workflows. So that's where in the organization we're going to look at, like, what kind of processes do we need? What kind of systems are we implementing? What kind of tools we are using? Communication structures is a workflow as well, in order to keep everybody horizontally aligned when we have a vertical vision and a plan to go from A to B. Now, when we have that, then that is what drives innovation and creativity, and we use innovation and creativity to actually keep that structure working horizontally and vertically, right? So through communication, through feedback material, through metrics that tell us how we are performing, through one-on-ones with people, all that will give us the necessary input to understand where we need to innovate and where we need creativity. And it is a natural result also. When that structure works well, innovation and creativity go up. Now, we're not done there yet, right? When we have all this organization in place, we also need to lead that. And that is where culture and leadership come in. That's where we focus on what are the cultural aspects and what kind of leadership skills and competences do we need in the team in order to keep our purpose structure flowing, right? Vertically, horizontally. And that is how the organization sits totally around that structure of purpose. And that will lead eventually to being a high-performance organization. A high-performance organization is a tough goal to achieve, but now we have a structure that will at least set you up for being ready to become a high-performance organization. And that's how we put the mission and the vision statements to work, right? Having a mission and a vision statement alone doesn't do much, but when we build a structure around it, like we just did here in this very theoretical example, that is going to make all the difference for your organization. So that's it. In the next sessions, we will work together to build out that structure and make it very actionable. If you have any questions, let me know.